Alright, record.
Got it.
Alright, starting my end cab. I'm gonna enter my truck with 3 points of contact, 2 hands, 1 foot, all the way in the truck. Shut my door. Alright, first thing I'm gonna talk about is my seatbelt. My seatbelt is properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken in 3 locations: above my left shoulder, below my left hip, and below my right hip. All hardware is present and tight. My seatbelt itself is not cut, torn, frayed, or twisted. It latches, unlatches, latches back, and it holds in place. Then I got my fire extinguisher. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's an ABC rated fire extinguisher. It's fully charged in the green. How do I know? Because the needle is facing the green. And my safety pin is intact. I got my 3 DOT reflective triangles up under my passenger seat. They're properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, chipped, or broken. They're red and amber in color, and they can stand up on their own. I got my safety fuses up here. I should have 1 spare fuse for every fuse type in this truck. And that's it for my safety equipment. Now I'm going to do my mirrors. I got my driver's side mirror, my driver hood mirror, my passenger hood mirror, and my passenger side mirror. They're all properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, chipped, or broken. They're clean and clear of any illegal stickers and obstructions to my view, and they're adjusted to me. Then I got my front windshield. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cracked, chipped, or broken. Clean and clear of any illegal stickers and obstructions to my view. I have my rubber seal around it. It's properly mounted and secured. It's not cut, torn, or frayed, and no visible leaks. I got my windshield wipers. They are properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, bent, or broken. All hardware is present and tight, and my windshield wiper blades are flush to my windshield with no abrasion, bulges, or cuts. I'm gonna come inside my truck. I'm gonna do a safe start. I'm gonna make sure my buttons are pulled out. I'm gonna make sure my truck is in neutral, and I'm gonna turn my key to the on position. I'm gonna let my gauges sweep, and my ABS light should have came on and went off between 3 and 6 seconds, which it just did. And I'm gonna start my truck. Alright. Now I'm gonna read my gauges from left to right. I'm gonna start with my water temperature gauge, which is reading at about 125 degrees Fahrenheit and rising. Proper operating range is 180 to 190 degrees Fahrenheit. I got my DEF tank, which is reading at 3/4 of a tank, and it shouldn't be no less than 1/8 of a tank. I got my oil pressure gauge. It's reading at about 50 psi. Proper operating range is 30 to 60 psi. I got my air pressure gauge. It's reading at about 100 psi and rising. Proper operating range is 120 to 140 psi. I got my voltmeter on the dash, which is reading at 14.1 volts. Proper operating range is 12 to 15 volts. Now I'm going to do my light indicators from left to right. I'm going to start with my headlight indicator, which my dashboard illuminated, so my headlight indicator works. My high beam indicator in blue, it works. My left turn signal, it works. My right turn signal, it works. My windshield wipers, they work and they squirt. Then I come with my city horn, it works. My highway horn, it works. Then I come with my right hand to my 4-way flashers, they are working. Then I come over here to my heater and defroster. I'll set it to the foot and the windshield. I'll turn it all the way to heat, and I'll turn it all the way up. Let it cycle on. Now I'll fill up top to make sure it's heating up top. Make sure it's heating up at the bottom. It does. I'll switch it over to cool to make sure it's cooling down up top. Make sure it's cooling down at the bottom. Alright. So now we'll set it to a comfortable temperature. Alright, now I'm going to do my first purge. Foot's going to cover the brake. I'm going to push my yellow button in. And I'm going to fan my brakes down to get it up under 100 psi. Alright, my air pressure is at 100 psi. Now I'm going to rev my engine up to 1400 RPMs until my air governor cut out between 120 and 140 psi. oven that just cut out at about 140 PSI. Now I'm gonna do my first tug test. My yellow button's already in, so the first thing I'm gonna test is my trailer brakes. I'm gonna put it in drive. I'm gonna give it a slight tug. Alright, my trailer brakes are working. I'm gonna put it back in neutral, pull out my yellow button, push my red button in, and I'm gonna test my tractor brake. My tractor brakes are working. I'm gonna put it back in neutral and I'm gonna press my yellow button back in. Now both of my buttons are in and I'm not gonna touch my buttons for the rest of the test. I'm gonna test my service brakes. I'm gonna put it in drive. I'm gonna go forward at 5 miles per hour without my hands on the steering wheel, and it shouldn't turn left or right. If it does, that means that my brakes are out of alignment and they need to be adjusted. We're going forward. Everybody hold on. 5 miles per hour. My steering wheel didn't turn left or right, so my brakes are properly aligned. Gonna put it back in neutral. Now I'm gonna do my second purge. And I'm gonna fan my brakes down to get it up under 100 PSI once again. Alright, now I'm gonna rev my engine back up to 1400 RPMs to my air governor cutout between 120 and 140 PSI. While I wait on that, I'm gonna go ahead and get my stopwatch ready. Governor just cut out again at 140 PSI. Now I'm going to turn my truck off and get ready to do my lab test. That's leaks, alarms, and buttons. I'm going to turn my key back to the on position. I'm going to let my gauges sweep. Sorry about that. Alright, now I'm going to hold my foot on the brake for 3 seconds to stabilize my air pressure. 1, 2, 3. Alright, my air pressure stabilized at about 120 PSI. I'm going to continue to hold my foot on the brake for an additional 60 seconds, and I shouldn't lose no more than 4 PSI within those 60 seconds. I'm starting now. Keeping my foot on the brake. Alright, we're at 30 seconds. Still holding. Ten seconds. Alright, 60 seconds has passed. I didn't lose no more than 4 PSI within those 60 seconds. Right now it's reading at 118 PSI. And I release my brake. Now I'm going to do my low air alarm warning test. I'm going to fan my brakes down. My low air alarm warning should come on and sound at 55 PSI and above. Fan my brakes down. Alright. My low air alarm pressure came on at 60 psi. I'm gonna continue to fan my brakes down till my buttons pop out between 40 and 20 psi. All right, that was my trailer button pop out. It popped out at 25 psi. Now I'm gonna continue to fan my brakes down until my parking brake pop out. All right, and my tractor brake popped out at 25 psi. Now that my buttons are popped out, I'm gonna check my outside lights all the way around the truck. I'm gonna turn on my headlights, my high beams, my four-way flashers. Then I'll take my seatbelt off. I'll get out the truck with 3 points of contact, and then I'll go in the front of my truck and I'll tell the examiner that my headlights, my high beams, my four-way flashers in the front of my truck work, my clearance lights work. Then I'll walk around my truck. On the side of the truck, my four-way flashers work. In the back of my truck, on the side of my truck, trailer, in the back of my trailer works. Come on the left side, four-way flashers work on the side. My four-way flasher on the side works, and my clearance lights on my trailer works. I'll come back, open my door, turn those off, turn the four-ways off, the high beams and the headlights. Then I'll check my left turn signal from front to back, close my door back, and I'll walk from the front of the truck. My left turn signal in the front works, on the side of my truck, back of the truck, side of the trailer, back of the trailer. And then I'll come back up, flick it up to the right. Same thing. The right side in the front of my truck works. On the side, in the back of my truck, side of the trailer, back of the trailer. Now come around. I'll get completely in. Put my seatbelt back on. Turn off my right turn signal, and now ask the examiner will they help me check my brake lights and my reverse light. The examiner will get out, walk around, and tell you to hit your brakes once for your truck. Then they'll tell you to hit them again for your trailer. You hit them again. Good. And then they'll tell you to start your truck so you can check your reverse light. Then you'll put it in reverse. Good. Alright. Then after that, you'll wait for further instructions. And that is the end cap.
Thank you, man.